If you are mechanically inclined or really brave, or both, you could do a government auction. I went through govdeals.com, and there's also one called Purple Wave Auctions. There's a lot of auctions, but GovDeals specifically seemed to be the easiest to navigate. I registered for an account, and I had to give them some information to prove who I was, driver's license, so forth and so on. And then I started watching the auctions to sort of get an idea of what buses were going for. Tulare, California was replacing their whole fleet of buses, and they had a big group of buses up for auction. And I told the wife, I said, there's a bus in here that I'm very interested in. It sort of checked most of my boxes, it was almost perfect. I said, ooh, we have to try. So we had a budget in mind. We wanted to spend no more than $4,500. That was kind of our sweet spot. It's an auction like eBay, so we watched it start bidding and bidding and bidding. And so I hopped in at about, 2,000 and started bidding excitedly. And we happened to win it at $2,550. So we got super lucky. Now, granted, the bus was sight unseen. I had asked some questions of the bus mechanic who maintained the bus. Now, there's some things you need to know about buying direct from a school district. There's some benefits. One, if the bus has been recently in service, the DOT has a lot of very strict mandates for a bus. They have to be in good working order to haul children. Now, if the bus has been out of service for several years, you may have some problems. But if the bus has recently been in service, and this bus was in service as recent as a year ago, a lot of the problems will have been dealt with. Plus, if you ask nicely, the school district may provide you with all of the service records. They gave me 36 pages of service history, and having that service history is worth its weight in gold. I would recommend GovDeals. Now, you have to be very careful. You have to be educated so you can make an informed decision, and you have to ask the right questions. But if you ask the right questions, you can get a good deal on a bus. I had sort of priced an engine rebuild in my equation. So if I bought this bus for $2,500 and I went out there and picked it up and drove it back and had a problem, I knew an engine rebuild was going to be several $1,000s, but I'd already said if that happens, it's still a good bus. And if I rebuilt the engine or had it rebuilt, now it's a good bus with a new engine.